Gulf Oil Lubricants India has created an innovative campaign that pushes the boundaries of traditional advertising with a movie addressing the brand's capabilities and ethos. This ambitious campaign and new approach to advertising aims to capture and amplify the essence of the brand tagline, "Together we are unstoppable." And it spans across Gulf Oil's entire product category. Before we get into the genesis of the campaign, take a look at the star-studded film on this special episode of Storyboard 18.
सुनिए सुनिए, शाम से पहले गांव खाली करना होगा। लैंडस्लाइड होने वाली है। हेलीकॉप्टर यहाँ लैंड नहीं कर सकते। सबको बेस तक पहुंचना होगा। जल्दी करिए।
इंसान बाइक पे,
सामान गाड़ी में।
one more round.
आप लोग आगे कैसे जाओगे?
आगे बढ़ने के लिए सही हालात नहीं, हौसला और सही साथ होना चाहिए, समझे?
बढ़ने से रोक सके।
जब इंजन में गल्फ ऑयल पड़ेगा, जमाना बेरोक आगे बढ़ेगा।
Gulf, together we are unstoppable.
There's certainly no dearth of action and stars in the film. But what went into its inception, and how does Gulf Oil aim to make it an unstoppable campaign benefiting both brand and business? To share a deeper insight into the genesis of this ambitious ad campaign, we have Ravi Chawla, MD and CEO, Gulf Oil Lubricants India, and Amit Wadhwa, CEO of Dentsu Creative Group. So let's jump straight into it and find out what makes this campaign unstoppable. Hello and welcome to CNBC TV18. Ravi, Amit, it's fantastic to have you both here and talking about this really fun campaign.
Well, yeah, it's going to be, I think, quite a campaign which is going to go places. The thought from Dentsu on how to create it and taking our brand positioning of Together We Are Unstoppable. So really looking forward to it. It's been created quite, I would say, with a lot of passion and looking forward to it.
Yeah, and action-packed, right? So let's just dial back to that point, Ravi, especially in the category that you operate in. It's a low involvement, very product performance driven. Dial back to the genesis of the campaign. What inspired you to do this as a movie, an action movie?
Yeah, so the genesis of the ad has been our journey as a brand. We've been a brand with a human sort of touch, I would say. As you know, the category is very low involvement, mid involvement, a lot of rationale behind buying lubricants. But human connect is always what people want to see. And Together We Are Unstoppable is about that, the challenge, the emotions, the passion. So really when we conceived this campaign, we of course wanted to bring all our three brand ambassadors together. And that was the creation of this action film, which Dentsu, they gave us the kind of whole details of the campaign and we fell for it. And then to present this in a very innovative way, I think Amit will talk about it, but really bringing it together as a film which is about unstoppables. And when you see the film, you will see how, it's about life, it's about our challenges and how our three superstars who've been with us for so long have not only done on the field, they've done it in an action film for the first time.
And you have quite a lineup. You have, of course, Dhoni, who's been your ambassador for a very long time. You have Hardik, again, 7 years, I think now. And you have Smriti, so you have a very sort of balanced lineup there as well.
Yeah, one legend and two superstars. So it's great to have them on the field, and they've been doing so many rescue acts on the field, and here's another one.
That's a good way to put it. Rescue acts, right? And the theme of the film is that. But Amit, let me come to you, especially to the sort of the creative rendition of the idea of together, let's be unstoppable. I mean, the theme, the spirit of it. Tell me, how did you sort of go from the brief to that point?
Yeah, I think the brief wasn't just about being together we are unstoppable. Of course, we had to stand true to what the brand is. But I think the brief from Ravi and the team was very clear that, you know, we want to do it in a different way. That's what the brand is. That's what the brand has done in the past. And I think that's the ambition to do it in the future also. So that was the brief. And when you think of this brief and you think of three superstars, cricket superstars coming together, we said, what do we do? I think that just made it exciting. And then the whole proposition, which of course, when the team sat together and figured out what do we do, was, you know, let's bring two biggest passions of this country. We're talking about two biggest passions, cricket and cinema. Three big cricketers, the legends like and the superstars of today coming together, actually in an action film, was the high point. And I think once we had the idea, and we shared it with Ravi, and we knew instantly that we had something really exciting. And I think together, the Dentsu team and the Gulf team then sat down and said, let's make it happen and let's make it big.
What sort of impact that you're hoping this campaign will have on the brand and on the business, on the bottom line?
Well, you see, the launch as a movie is, of course, as Amit said, it's about Bollywood and cricket. So we said, why not do it Bollywood style this time? So that's an innovative thing. You look at what the real thing, the business behind what we are doing today, is that today our products are, long grain products. They are industry leaders. We have done a lot in terms of giving both, performance of our products, making our products last longer. It's about endurance. So when you look at what we are doing today in terms of being unstoppable, is exactly that. So our products and now our, connect with this campaign. We have had campaigns in the past which is talking about, the fun part of life. But really, when you look at where we are today as a world, as a country, it's all about that vision, that passion, the determination, the self-belief that we can overcome every challenge. So I think it's that connect with people, which will obviously sway people towards looking at Gulf. People are using Gulf, obviously get that, positive thing about the brand, and newer people come and join us. So it is a brand impact campaign. We will be putting it across a lot of media, and hopefully we'll have the consumers and all our supporters, rooting more for Gulf.
Absolutely. But carrying on that point, because you mentioned, of course, cricket and, for Gulf Oil, for instance, globally, it's been big on motorsports. You switched it up for India. You wanted with the IPL to begin with when it started. So you've had a really long journey with cricket. And of course, with Dhoni as well, who you signed on, almost a decade ago. So tell me a little bit about how that sort of decision and evolution has panned out for you, for the brand.
Well, you're right there. Gulf has been a brand, it's been there since 1901, and it's been associated with motorsports for many, many years, whether you take, Formula One or Le Mans, and it's a cool, iconic motorsports brand in many parts of the world. So it's quite a niche area in India. When we saw India, it's, motorsports is there, and definitely cricket is a religion here. So it was about 13, 14 years ago when we decided to get into IPL. One of our brand values was youth. And we said, this is a young game. IPL is a young cricket game. So we kind of jumped onto the bandwagon with Kings 11. And then Chennai Super Kings happened to us. We did a good job with them and we felt the brand grew in Punjab. Punjab, we got very good market share traction. And that's where Chennai and we joined hands. It was quite a good thing to have that happening where we were recognized as a brand doing a lot of good work. And then Dhoni happened naturally because he was heading. So it's a journey and we've been with them, and we are probably the longest serving brand in any IPL team, as in the non-owner teams. And that's really where the journey started. And Dhoni is a perfect fit. He's a biker and, his stature has only grown with us.
It adds that authenticity and credibility to it as well, the association, right?
Yes. And I think he's a team player for us now. We look at him as a team player.
Well, he's a great one to have on your team, that's for sure. But to your point, Ravi, about low involvement categories, right? Like, it's interesting that we've seen some of the most creative work from India come out of low involvement categories, you know. I mean, if I'm just name a few, Fevicol, for instance. Amit, let me just quickly get your insight on, you know, working on a brand like Gulf Oil. You know, does it really sort of switch up your creative juices, the way you think? Are you thinking at a different plane? Because, I mean, to get that sort of excitement into the category, get that sort of, you know, human side of it, humanizing it essentially. A little bit about, you know, how agencies are thinking about it, and then finding that partnership.
So I think what brings out the best in any brand, I think, are exactly two things. One is when the environment is challenging, like you said. When the involvement is not as high, I wouldn't say completely low, it's low to mid, but when the involvement is not as high, I'm not constantly thinking of which brand to buy. And then that's when you need the consumer to start thinking about you when he or she is at the storefront. I think is a good challenge to have. And I think that's when you have challenge, you come up with the odds and you make it happen. I think that's one part of it. And the other is when you have a partner on the other side who's receptive to buying something, you know, bolder, stronger, you know, not been done before. And I think I kudos to Ravi and of course his team for actually pushing us, saying this is not good enough. We, you know, it's a category which is not top of mind for a consumer. How can we, you know, how can we up the needle there? And I think it is the partnership there. And you know, of course, it's been you know, it's been some time that we've been working together, and we're already having fun.
You know, I really think it's interesting to, you know, when you have leadership, like you, Ravi, you've been a marketer, you know, it gives you a different sensibility. Do you find that in how you know, work with your creative partners, your agency partners? You know, how has that sort of experience you've had as a marketer in your current role as a CEO and MD give you a deeper appreciation of, you know, backing such bold ideas? I mean, you don't need convincing, do you?
Well, you know, I was just telling Amit earlier today that I wanted to actually join an advertising agency when I started my career. So I think as a marketer and as a business person, I think you're right. You know, when you look at the consumer and the way businesses evolve today, and when you look at our products or similar products, the consumer is, you know, going to make your business happen. So I think for us, marketing is the natural way. And as you rightly said, it does take us, you know, some time to come up with the right idea. But once you have the right idea, you need to back it up. So I think we believe in that, and we have had very long partnerships with whoever we've been, you know, including our customers. So really, that's something where the conviction only grows.
Absolutely. Coming back to this campaign, how do you see it, you know, playing out in the coming months? Where do you have, what ambitions do you have for this already very ambitious and innovative campaign that you've launched? What are you thinking about?
Well, we have our, you know, above the line, below the line activations in a lot of our categories, you know, whether you take the car oils or the bike oils, the truck oils. But I think this campaign is going to give a much bigger kind of canvas to Gulf. It will definitely, you know, kindle that sort of emotional connect, and definitely the spirit is definitely there in the campaign. We hope that can help us, and of course we do have backup advertising which will talk about the benefits of the products, which normally goes on. So I think this will give it that canvas and that, I would say, magnum opus kind of feel. And you know, as Bollywood is, and with you know, superstars we have, I think it will give us the reach, it will give us that brand consideration, and hopefully definitely translate in more people trying our product and helping us in whatever you're doing in marketing.
Speaking about product, I'm going to just quickly stay on that. You have diversified your offerings, of course. Little bit on that. How do you see that panning out, you know, in the coming months? And we are getting into, you know, very sort of critical periods in the year. How do you see it panning out?
Well, you know, our core lubricants is continuing to growing, and the market is a small, you know, low growth market because you have better oils coming in, better engine oils, better products.
Premiumization.
So that's
yes.
right. So we look at the next decade is going to continue growing, and we grow 2 to 3x the market. But you're right, we are diversifying into looking at the EV portfolio, because with our brand distribution and partnerships, we are looking at getting into the charging business. We have made some acquisitions there. So we're looking at that also evolving, where the brand can have a play, the distribution touch points, the OEMs. So interesting journey for us as we look at it, and definitely the core is not going anywhere, but we are also looking to transform in terms of what we do and how we do. And I would say this campaign is a transformation because we've been able to bring an idea which probably is something really innovative.
Absolutely. One final question for you both, given that, this partnership has been going on for a while, and you've worked with Dhoni again for a while, and, he's, as you said, he's been a team player. Amit, I'll come to you first. What's been the most memorable, part of working on the Gulf Oil brand for you? If you can just give me, something that stands out for you.
I think the one thing that stands out, which I spoke about earlier, is every time trying something different. And we're talking to different consumer segments, right from a trucker to a bike enthusiast to someone who rides a scooter. I think the canvas is vast. I think the challenge is there, which is about doing something different. And you have a client on the other side. I'm glad didn't join the agency and was my client because he's buying great ideas. So, you need, for great ideas, you need a great client on the other side. And I think that's the thing. I think buying something bolder and different has been the fun part of it. And yeah, I guess this one's the icing on the cake. We're already seeing a lot of murmur on this campaign. We've had the teaser campaign received very well as an action movie coming up, to a virtual premiere, to behind the scenes being watched quite a lot. So I think, this tells us that we're moving in the right direction. This camp is doing very well for us.
You've again worked with Dhoni, and I see the passion, especially when you speak about the brand, when you speak about, your association with Dhoni. We know he's a huge biker, a real sort of, and he appreciates, he collects. Now, tell me, what has been for you some of the memorable parts of this association, this journey? Maybe just not with Dhoni, but just working on campaigns over time.
Well, I think with the lubricant business, where I have spent over 24 years now, and if we look at our journey with Gulf, I think the passion that we have, which is one of our values, I think that's resonated in whoever we've been with. So whether it's Dhoni or Hardik or Smriti's, of course, just joined us. We are really glad to have her in the team. But the passion has been one thing which has been tremendous, and we can actually feel it. So when we are with MS or with Hardik, you can really, and I find that is really what, and he knows about the products, he knows about what's inside the bike. So I think that is there, and of course, even the other products which he has advertised or Hardik is advertising. Hardik is, been with us for 7 years. He's also talking a lot about it. But I would say that's really what's made me feel a bit different from some of the other categories may have. The real passion is something I just can't, verbalize it.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for your time, gentlemen. It was lovely chatting with you. To get a view from a different vantage and to talk about his role in it as a brand ambassador, we also have Hardik Pandya with us today. Listen in to find out more about Hardik's approach to the brand campaign and the experience for him. Welcome to CNBC-TV18.
Thank
Hardik.
you for having
it's a
me.
pleasure to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
So this campaign as well for Gulf Oil has a very interesting theme. There's it has this feeling of a big movie. But tell me a little bit about how the brand's message of the unstoppable resonates with you personally.
Being unstoppable really resonates with me in a deeper level. Throughout my career, I have faced injuries, setbacks, and challenges that could have easily derailed me. But every time I have found a way to push me through, to keep me going and come back stronger. It's about having that inner drive, that determination to never give up on no matter what. This campaign captures that spirit perfectly. It's not just about success, it's about the journey, the resilience, and the ability to keep moving forward. And that's been the story of my life, both on and off the field.
So it's always about how you get up, right? And not that sort of never let failure set you back. But keeping on that point, Hardik, tell me a little bit more about how you see the brand values and how that is compelling to you. What aspects of the brand's value is compelling to you?
What I find most compelling about Gulf's values is their focus on performance. In cricket, you need to be, for your team, whether you are batting, bowling, or fielding, your team needs to know that they can count on you. And Gulf embodies that spirit with their product. It's about consistency, delivering top performance, and that aligns with my approach to cricket as well. Always strive to perform at my best and to be a dependable part of my team. Teamwork is something crucial, knowing that you can rely on your partners, whether in cricket or in life. is a big deal for me.
Tell me a little bit about sort of the highlights from the shoot for you. Anything that stood out in terms of the experience for you. Let's talk a little bit about that, and also your thoughts on how it's a very interesting novel advertising format and the way the campaign has been launched. So a little bit about what you think about that and your most memorable moments from the making of the campaign.
I mean, I really liked how we got the shoot done. It was a really amazing experience getting three players together at the same point of time. Two legends, who have Smriti and Mai, who has done so well for the country. The whole ad, the message, and everything kind of goes well with the values of brand and myself, where it's no matter what happens, you have to be unstoppable. No matter what, you have to keep trying, and when you keep trying, you end up doing good. So I think the whole ad features that, and it sends out a really good message.
And it's interesting to see. It's nice. We were just discussing earlier how it's nice to have Smriti in the campaign as well. Usually you see only sort of men in some of these campaigns, but it's nice to see that mix there. One more question for you, Hardik. We have this sort of sense in the nation right now of this unstoppability. So let me sort of ask you then, how do you perhaps see this Gulf Oil campaign, channeling that energy and sort of, mobilizing people towards being unstoppable?
I believe this campaign will resonate with a lot of people. The message is about being unstoppable. It's a universal thing I think in life you should have. Everyone faces challenges, and it's how you respond to those challenges that defines you. This campaign shows that no matter what obstacles come your way, you have to have strength and resilience to overcome them. By sharing our story and demonstrating that unstoppable spirit, we hope to inspire others to keep pushing forward, to stay strong, and to never give up. It's about encouraging people to believe in themselves and their ability to achieve great things, no matter what the difficulty you face.
To round it off, take a look at some lighter moments from this conversation with the makers of this campaign, Together We Are Unstoppable. Hardik, let me ask you, you've of course now shot a whole bunch of, ad films, you've done your fair share of acting as well. What is perhaps the best advice you've got on acing the acting game?
I mean, I don't know about how much acing I do, but I don't remember who gave it to me, but something which really helped me get better over the years, obviously that I kept doing it, but more was the fact that as natural, which you can feel in front of the camera, it will come out better. Because sometimes in front of the camera, you over-try and it does not. So for me, something really worked was that.
So Ravi, you've worked with Dhoni, you've worked with Hardik now for 7 years as well on Gulf Oil. Tell me how that acting has evolved. How have you seen, cricketers, we know they're acing it on the pitch, but what about on screen?
But I think each of them has a natural style, as Hardik said, it's their persona.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can get them to do things which the brand and which the film wants, and it's very naturally left to them as to how they can maneuver it. So I think that's the skill of the director, which we really see, and then the magic happens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Amit, you've of course shot with a whole bunch of celebrities. Even working with Hardik, right? What would you say are the sort of the fun aspects of it, and perhaps even the challenging aspects of it?
There's no challenge. He's fantastic. Hardik, you would give it to me.
Mm-hmm.
But on the thing, I think what he's just told us is exactly the way he is. He is that be yourself kind of a person. And I think when you be yourself, it's easily reflected even in your acting. And I think you see him post-match presentations, which we see him a lot. He is himself. And I think that's what he reflects even in the film.
Okay, final question, Hardik. Any sort of movie ambitions, Bollywood ambitions in the future for you?
Me? Don't know. I'll take it as time comes. First, I'll focus on the sport. Once sport is done, then why not? Everyone would like to see it.
Thank
you
you
so much. Thank you for having us.